The 7th episode of Marvel's What If has officially aired on Disney+, and to be honest, this is the episode I was the least excited for. The idea of an entire episode about Thor having a party sounded so dumb to me, but I won't lie, I did kinda have fun with this episode. I will absolutely give this episode this. The comedy actually worked. First time in a while I can actually say that about this season. Kat Dennings returns as Darcy in this episode, and as per usual, she is a joy. She was really funny, and the running joke about her and Howard the Duck being in this weird husband and wife style relationship was actually pretty funny. Other gags that I really enjoyed were the Grandmaster and Topez on mobility scooters. That got a real chuckle out of me, and Loki as a frost giant was hilarious. I love the best friend dynamic that Thor and Loki have in this episode, and the brother from another mother line had me cackling my ass off. That and also Surtur trying to hit on Lady Liberty, that was just gold. The episode also has a pretty stellar action sequence in the form of a fight between Captain Marvel and Thor. Not only do I find the idea of Thor's partying being so destructive that S.H.I.E.L.D. had to call in Captain Marvel to be hilarious, but their fight was actually pretty dope. I loved seeing them literally punch each other across the planet, and I especially love that unbroken medium shot of the pair just beating the shit out of each other. On that note, this episode was honestly beautiful to look at. The colors in this episode were absolutely amazing, and I got a kick out of the seemingly infinite amount of Easter eggs. The voice cast were all pretty great. Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston were both really fun as these characters once again, as to be expected at this point. Their comedic timing was a real asset to this episode. Although that does lead me to my cons. Yes, this episode does present some interesting ideas, but it doesn't really do anything with them. We have a version of Thor that never really learns to become a true hero like he did in the first movie, but the wider implications of this are never really explored. We do get a montage of Thor and co defacing historical landmarks and monuments, but we never really see anyone being put in any actual danger, and because of that, the episode didn't really sell me on the idea that Thor's partying was a genuine threat. I mean, we have a version of Loki who grew up as a frost giant, and aside from a pretty hysterical joke, nothing is done with it. What was life like for him? How was this Loki different from the other variants we've seen already? Hell, how did this Thor and Loki even meet? For a large chunk of the episode, Thor doesn't really go on any sort of arc or journey. The episode is largely Jane Foster, Darcy, Captain Marvel, and S.H.I.E.L.D. trying to figure out how to get Thor out of Earth. And while it was decently funny, there wasn't really any sort of character progression, and it didn't even feel like there was any sort of story progression either. For a good chunk of the episode, I was kind of thinking, where is this even going? The episode ends with Thor having to clean up Earth before his mom can catch him, and I thought it was hilarious. I really liked how it was an exaggerated version of the whole clean up the house before mom gets back scenario. But then after this, Thor is acting like he learned a valuable lesson and that it was right to call off the party. But throughout the entire episode, we never see Thor look at what he's doing and think independently, yeah, this might be going too far. That actually would have been really interesting. Instead though, the only time that does kind of happen is when he realizes Frigga is coming down to Earth, and if she catches him, I don't know, she'll ground him, I guess. I really enjoyed that aspect. It was really funny seeing Thor desperately trying to convince all the party guests to help him clean up, and rightly or wrongly, Thor pushing up the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That was hilarious. That really made me laugh hard. It was just kind of weird that Thor was acting like he had gone through an existential realization that what he was doing was wrong, when he clearly didn't, or at least we clearly didn't see it. Regardless, it felt pretty rushed. While I do have problems with the overall narrative and characterization, or lack thereof, I can't act like I didn't enjoy myself watching this episode, because I did. It was visually stunning, the action was cool, and the jokes for the most part actually hit this time. It's not a great episode by any stretch, but it was a fun time. The ending of this episode did get me really excited. I loved the moment when the Watcher finishes speaking as if he knows that the story is coming to an end, and then he's just like, wait, what? And in comes Ultron, but he's in Vision's body and he has all the Infinity Stones. Consider me very excited for next episode. For now though, the Party Thor episode was fine. It's not great, but I enjoyed it. 6.1 out of 10. So that was my review of What If Episode 7. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much as always for watching. Before I go though, I would just like to ask you guys, what did you think of this episode? Good? Bad? Somewhere in the middle? Please leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will indeed see you guys in the next one. Until next time, live long and prosper, and may the Force be with you, always.